Hey everybody, Bryan Z here with another whiteboard session for you. And today in this video, I want to talk about lifetime value of a customer, patient, client, whatever it is that you're doing. So this is a very important thing to understand because you need to make your marketing decisions based on some of these figures, and you need to know them. Probably 90% of doctors out there don't know this concept or don't know it for their own business. So it's very important, and I'm gonna walk through a really good example here in a second. So let's understand that. Let's have an example of, let's say somebody spends $500 on a transaction in your clinic or your practice. So a lot of times people will just say, oh, that customer's worth $500 to me. Well, let's assume they come back twice a year. So if you're a good doctor, and hopefully that you are, your patients are returning to you. So let's be very conservative. Let's say $500 twice a year. That initial transaction is $1,000. So a lot of people will say, oh, well, yeah, this person is worth $1,000 to me. Well, the back end of this that they're not remembering or not, maybe they aren't set up correctly, is referrals. And you can't just say, hey, we love referrals. You have to have a referral program. And that's something that we do for our clients. But you need to make sure that when you have a good practice, that people know that you are seeking referrals and you're constantly hitting them with your referral program. And it has to be incentive based for the referral itself. So let's say on average, people give you 2 referrals. Now this $1,000 is now $3,000, and don't forget the referrals will give you referrals, and so on and so forth if the system and the process is set up correctly. So we're not going to take it that far. So we're just going to say this is now worth $3,000 on average if you get 2 referrals. I'll give you a very good example. So the chiropractor especially when I was having some back trouble, the chiropractor in my area, my city. When I found him, it came from a referral from my mother. She really enjoyed it and did a nice job. So he then saw me. He then saw my wife at the time. He then saw my son. He then saw my brother. So that's my mother, wife, me, son, and brother. That's 5 of us right there. And it's a continued service. I know I'm fine right now, but if I have trouble, I will be going back to him. My brother goes to him, I think, once a month, and it's consistent. And there was no real referral program set up. Had there been, we would have been way more, probably more aggressive. But he was a very good chiropractor, so we just gave him the business anyways because he's good at what he does, and he helped heal us. So that right there, that's five referrals within my family, and he didn't even really hardly ask for them. And that's very, very powerful. So that referral system needs to be calculated in the lifetime value of a patient or a customer of yours. So something to think about, start to put some pen to paper. And this is a very important thing because then you can understand, okay, if I truly have a 3,000, maybe it's 1,000, maybe it's 2,000, whatever, how much can I spend to acquire that customer? You don't want to blow the whole thing and say, yeah, I can spend $3,000, and you don't want to do that either because some of this comes later on. So cash flow does have a part in this. But, do you want to spend the initial $500 for that first visit and spend $500 to acquire a customer? It's very reasonable. Most companies will be happy to break even on the front end initially, to get somebody in the door, knowing that there's going to be money coming down the pike. I've used it before, I'll use it again. Amazon is a wonderful example of this. Amazon Prime, Amazon loses money on Amazon Prime. To 2-day ship packages over and over and over again, they lose money. So that's the front end of their business. They lose money on the front end, but guess what? When you come back and you buy package after item after item after item after item, and they make those fees on the back end of their business, they're killing it. So you have to remember, we have a cost to to acquire a patient. Every business has a cost. We have to know what that is and what we're willing to spend on it. So put some pen to paper, try to figure out take this first step, and I'm going to take it a step further in the next video, but take this step with the lifetime value of a patient for you and start to put some pen to paper and calculate that number. I hope this helps, and we will see you in the next video.